this class on Kena-Upanishad with vākya-bhāshya. Om apyayantu mamangani vākpranaschakshushrotramatho balamindriyani cha sarvani sarvam brahma-upanishadam maham brahma nirakuryam mama brahma nirakaro anirakaranamastu anirakaranam me astu tadatmani nirate upanishatsu dharmas te mayi santu te mayi santu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We completed Khanda 1, Section 1 in the Kena-Upanishad, and we took selected portions of Adi Shankaracharya's second Bhashya called vākya-bhāshya. In this session now we enter the second Khanda. There are no chapters in Kena-Upanishad. The whole Kena-Upanishad is in 4 Khandas or 4 sections. So the second section has a very interesting scenario. The teacher says to the student, if you think you have understood, I tell you, my dear, you have not understood. A puzzling way of interaction. The student is a bit shaken. The reference is to a very competent student, a student endowed with viveka, vairagya, samadhi, shatka sampatti, and mukshitva. Those are the 4 sadhanas, requisites, prerequisites mentioned in the Shastras themselves for true success in Vedanta study. So 1 in a million, a student may have all those qualities, and then nothing can come in the way between the ultimate understanding and the student. However, why does the teacher make this kind of statement? Therefore, we need to examine what is going on here. And therefore, it is worthwhile seeing Adi Shankaracharya's introduction to this whole Khanda. However, let's read the mantra proper. The mantra, let me say in advance, has the words of the teacher as well as the response from the student. The student does not respond instantly. Upon being told, I don't think you have understood, the student is a little shaken. He takes a little time, examines his own understanding, and then comes back and says, well, I have understood. So he asserts that his understanding is clear without any doubt, and that is where we say the teacher only wanted to test the student. So let's see the first mantra given in the first slide now. We should be able to present the slide at this moment. In this session, we are going to just see one mantra and just a few lines of Shānkarabhāshya upon it. Now I think it's on its way. OI Forum has started screen sharing, it says, but this share, the slide is yet to come. Here it is. Yeah. So the title of this first slide is your knowledge firm? I'm trying to shake your knowledge, and that will help me know how firm your knowledge is. So the mantra reads, Yadi manyase suveda iti. My dear student, if you think that you now know Brahman, su means very well. Dabhramevapi nunam tvam vetha brahmano rupam. Then dabhram means very little, not fully. You have understood rather partially, to a little extent only. Yadasya tvam yadasya deveshu. Whether in you recognizing Brahman in oneself or recognizing Brahma in gods. Another meaning of this could be whether what you have understood or what gods in the heavens have understood, both of them are subject to questioning. Both of them are to be doubted. Atha nu mimamsyameva te manye. Mimamsyameva. Mimamsyameva te. Up to te you can. Up to te. That much is uh, the teacher's words. Mimamsyam means something that needs to be again inquired into. When you are not sure of something, you check again. Is what I understood the real understanding, or is there something more to it? The last two words, manye viditam, just two words, are to be taken as the response of the student, presumably after a little while. Sometimes the commentators dramatize this. The student goes to a corner and sits quietly. Why is my teacher saying I have not understood? What makes him make such a statement? And then, upon re examining, he comes back. You can imagine with a smile upon his face, oh dear teacher, whatever you say is good for me. You perhaps wanted to double check. Welcome. I don't feel offended. I don't mistake you or misunderstand you. You said those words alleging that I have not understood. I take it in good spirits, but I would submit that I have understood. So, this interesting scenario. So, it is said through an analogy when somebody has to plant a pole, like you want to play badminton, you want to tie a net to two poles on both the sides. The net is put, then boundaries are made of the badminton field, then one player on each side or two players on each side, they start playing. So when you put two poles, those poles have to be very steady. And when almost all of us have done this at some point in our life, when we have made a hole and planted a pole and then maybe put some stones and some more mud and hit, then we do an exercise. We try to shake the pole a little bit. On one hand, you wanted the pole to be very firm, and on the other, what's this? You are trying to shake it. Then don't we say, I am trying to shake it just to see whether the pole is firmly planted, the pole is standing firmly. My idea is not to loosen it. I want it to be totally firm. Likewise, the teacher's idea is not to confuse the student, not to bring some new doubt in student's mind. On the contrary, the teacher is just trying to ascertain, be doubly sure that the student has understood properly. This is explained very nicely in the few words we have selected from Shānkarabhāshya, which is in the vākya-bhāshya. Let's see the next slide now. In Shankara's commentary, we have Adi Shankara giving in a single compound word. He gives us the next button is not here because enable editing was never on. Okay, it came. So let's see one sentence in Adi Shankara's commentary. Yadi manyase suveda iti. That's a reference to the mantra. The mantra says the teacher tells the student, if you think you know it well, that portion is commented upon. Yadi manyase suvedeti. Now, next part of it is Shankara's inputs. Shishya buddhi vichalana. Of course, the guru is vichalana means trying to destabilize, trying to shake Shishya buddhi, the student's understanding. For what? Grihita stiratayai. Grihita means whatever that truly extraordinary student, lady or man, whatever she or he had understood, Grihita, whatever she had grasped, that has to be doubly or triply, 4 times, 5 times firm. Grihitasya sthirata, grihita sthirata, grihita sthirata yai. That is for the purpose of ensuring sthirata, total stability, unshakable clarity should be the nature of the disciple's understanding. So as the English translation goes, the sentences of the second khanda, if you think you know it well, etc., are for the purpose of solidifying the grasp of knowledge. The grasp of knowledge is grihita. Solidifying is sthirata. Grasp of knowledge in the student's mind by shaking the knowledge. Shishya buddhi vichalana. Vichalana is shaking something. Like we gave the example of the pole. You as though are trying to shake the pole, not to destabilize it, just to check whether it is firmly planted. In the last slide of this evening's presentation, we see a couple of more words or a couple of more sentences by Sri Shankaracharya, whom we call Bhagavan Bhashyakara, Vidita Avita Vidita Aviditabhyam Nivartya. Please remember, in the previous mantra at the end of the first khanda, it was said, Anyadeva tad viditad, atho aviditad adi. Neither falling into the camp of the known, nor falling into the camp of the unknown is Brahman. How can we teach it? How can anybody transmit it? We don't know. It was the mantra, previous mantra. So vidita aviditabhyam nivartya buddhim shishyasya swatmani avasthapya. These words are so charming. Adi Shankara throws light on the job of a competent teacher. A competent teacher doesn't just show off his scholarship, doesn't bamboozle the audience with some high-flown statements, doesn't go off the subject, doesn't go round and round. Rather, as the word goes here, Shishyasya swatmani avasthapya. The true teacher is very keen on making the student avasthapana, stay firmly in what? Not in something far away. Swatmani, in one's own true self. Tadeva Brahma Tvam Vidhi iti. Earlier, there were a string of 5 to 6 mantras. Yan manasana manute yenahur manomatam tadeva Brahma Tvam Vidhi nedam yadidam upasate. Yadvacha anabhyuditam yena vākya-bhāshya tadeva Brahma Tvam Vidhi, tadeva Brahma Tvam Vidhi, tadeva Brahma, that tadeva Tvam Brahma Vidhi came several times. Know that alone to be Brahman, not any of these 100 things which people of less understanding go on worshipping. That is the level of upasana. In Shuddha Jnana, which deserves to be called Samyak Darshana, upasana is completely given up. You move ahead, you go upwards, you graduate from upasana. From karma, you come to upasana. Then you graduate beyond Upasana also and stay in pure Jnana. Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidyeti Swarajye Abhishitya. Wow, Adi Shankaracharya uses very flowery words. The teacher intends to coronate the student. In Western language, it is coronation because in Western culture, a crown is put upon the king. Coronation or crowning or making him sit on the royal chair. In Indian tradition, though there is crown, there is the royal chair, simhasana, all of them do exist in Eastern culture, but the tradition involves a bath. The person to be made the king is given a ceremonial bath accompanied by chanting of Veda mantras and probably some special instruments to be played by the musicians at that time. But Veda mantras and a ceremonial bath are very integral part of announcing somebody as the new king. Swarajye. Here it is not kingdom somewhere away. Our own inner kingdom comes within our control. I am the king of my own kingdom, my own mind, my own personality. I rule the personality. All along, the personality was apparently ruling me, making me miserable. Swarajya becomes Swarajya. Swarajye अभिषिच्य अभिषेकम कृत्वा upasya pratishedhena, as we already said, this assertion, never make even the least mistake about Brahma being an object for upasana. Brahma is not something to be visualized, however grand the visualization may be. Brahma is not meant for just adoring and loving and in so many ways express your appreciation. Do not make a pendant of Brahma and hang it in your necklace. Do not tie something on your wrist. I am a devotee of Brahma. Do not put posters or banners or the human mind knows 100 ways in which to adore somebody where that somebody and oneself are separate. Brahma requires understanding that your own true nature is all that you have been seeking. The seeker, upon a deeper examination, himself or herself is the sought. The example of Kasturi Mriga is given. A certain animal called Kasturi Mriga is fascinated by some wonderful fragrance and it goes on searching where this fragrance is coming from. Then one fine day it understands that fine fragrance, that wonderful, excellent fragrance, that perfume, that good smell was coming from himself, from that animal itself. Vedanta employs many analogies. The lady who thought her necklace was missing and was frantically searching all over the house. The family also joined her in searching for the lost necklace. Then it was discovered that the necklace was already on her neck, but she had put some clothes which was hiding that, and in her agitated mind, she thought she had not yet worn it. All of us do this many times. We lock the house, get into the car, and the engine we start. We are about to leave. Then oh my, I think I did not take my passport. I think I did not take that paper. Then we rush inside the house. Then again we come. Then one of us discovers, oh, it's already, it's in the car. It's in the little box. It's already inside the car. People lift their glasses, make it go up their head while answering some phone call or opening the door to somebody who rang the bell. And later, when they come back and take their seat, continuing to read the newspaper, let us say, they wonder where I left my glasses, where I left my spectacles, as we say in British English. Spectacles, or in American English, glasses. Where are my glasses? Somebody points out they are right upon our head. Just have to lower it. There are numerous examples, but that is called praptasya prapti. You already have it. It's not a matter of getting something which you don't have, but it is getting what you already have, which means the only thing required is right knowledge. Whereas, mind you, upasana is on a different level, on a lower level. In upasana, you are the worshipper and there is something to be worshipped, and you may get closer and closer to it. You receive blessings from what is worshipped. You receive grace from what is worshipped. So Shiva Upasana, Brahma Upasana, Rama Upasana, Devi Upasana, Shakti Upasana, Sri Chakra Upasana, or in the good old times when Vedas were more common in the society, they worshipped aspects of nature, worshipped wind, worshipped water, worshipped rains, worshipped plants, worshipped trees, nature worshippers. Interestingly, around the world, there have been tribes, communities, groups who are also into nature worship. The Native Americans, much before the whites came from Europe and quote and unquote conquered the Americas, those natives were nature worshippers. Rivers were sacred for them, hills were sacred for them, some plants and many other aspects of nature. In India, even today, we have some amount of nature worship continuing. Trees and hills and rivers and ponds and various places, various stones, various symbols we worship. Hats off to all those upasanas, but Advaita Vedanta uncompromisingly says somewhere at some point you need to let go of upasana, which is marked by duality, and stay in your own swarajya, the empire of the true nature of yours. Swarajye abhishekam krutva abhishitya upasya pratishede. All possible dualistic worship is pratisheda, dismissed. Ata asya buddhim vichalayati. The teacher does just that. The English translation goes, as you may see in the slide, having negated the known, vidita, and the unknown, vidita, and having told the student, know that alone to be Brahman, and having placed the student on the throne of the highest knowledge, and having negated that which is worshipped or the object of upasana, the Guru then proceeds to shake the student's mind such that his knowledge becomes firm. Finally, it is all about making the student, him or her, become extremely firm in his or her knowledge. Therefore, there is no evil intention here. There is nothing that is negative about this mantra. How interesting. In the Upanishad, there is this kind of interaction between a guru and a shishya. Students are free to ask questions, and the teachers have such a relation with the student that they sometimes tease him, test him. Just like in the Zen tradition also, there is a whole range of koans, puzzling questions. And those puzzles can be unpleasant. The puzzles called koans thrown at the students by the teachers can be very embarrassing, can be sometimes, in a hurried view, distasteful. It can mean the teachers are disgusted with the students. They are trying to get rid of the students as though. But students with greater patience, broader outlooks, and students who know that this teaching is of a different kind, we need to weather the storm. Sometimes the teachers might appear very ununderstanding, very mischievous, or very uh, distasteful, as I said before. The student has to bear with it and wait and see. The teacher gives some new input whereby all confusion is set at rest at one go. So in the Upanishads, we have a similar tradition, like other mystical traditions of the world, Sufi, Zen, and I don't know how many others in this world. The world has had and does have very many mystical traditions. But we are proud to say that the Upanishads not only have a great mystical tradition, but also, along with the commentaries of Adi Shankara and others, when Upanishads provide to us a treasure of material, a treasure of material which goes into so many questions, so many ways in which human mind can get stuck. And a careful and patient study of the Upanishads with guidance from a competent teacher can help you and me to become so clear. And then nothing can again bring us back to bondage. Bondage ends for good. Freedom is ours forever. Let's stop here. So let's conclude for now. Namah Paramarashibhyo Namaha Paramarashibhyaha. Hari Om.